going on, Jerome's? Minnesota Vikings defensive coordinator Brian Flores has a lot of things going on right now. Head coaching interest. The Bears and the Jets have requested interviews with Flo, as well as reflecting on what happened in the Lions game. The Vikings defense played pretty damn good through three quarters. And then, I'm getting ready for the Los Angeles Rams in the wild card round. So Flo said some stuff and some things, diving on in. So talked about the Rams last time where, if you remember, so Thursday night game, short week after the Vikings allegedly lost to the Lions week 7, and Puka was coming off of IR where he had that injury, and it's just like Puka all week, boop. He was literally on the slab. It was just like he is deceased. He has ceased to be. Then all of a sudden, that morning, he just like resurrected, and then came out 4-7 for a $106 on 9 targets. And yeah, it was a short week, so it was a compressed preparation time. But also adding Puka right in there at the end completely changed things, right? But now, Flores and the Vikings defense know that Puka is going to be there, and talked about how the Rams have two number ones in the leftovers of Cooper Kupp as well as Puka Nacua. Also how Puka physicality affects the run and the pass game, since he's a hellacious blocker downfield as well, even though who made Puka at BYU? Jaron Hall, the Mormon Missile. Also, talked about a lot of positive moments against the Lions, but with an explosive running back like Jahmyr Gibbs, they only need one or two moments where gap discipline breaks down, and that's what happened. That's what happened against the Lions. And he talked about how head coaching interest is an honor, but he's focused on the defense. He's focused on the Rams this week. And a lot of coordinators who are up for head coaching jobs, they say that, but I believe Flo. I think that Flores is very good at compartmentalizing. I think that his dedication to his guys on his side of the ball is so deep that it's just like, hey, we are going to ride this thing till the wheels fall off. And then we'll worry about head coaching jobs when a little bit later on. He has said that he's going to take all interviews, and part of the class action lawsuit from a couple years ago was that some of these interviews with minorities are shams, but not taking that tack this time around. And Flores, first off, it's criminal that he didn't get any head coaching interview requests last season when he took the Vikings defense from one of the worst in the league to about middle of the table. So it's pretty clear that last year the league was freezing Flores out because of what happened with the Dolphins, because of what happened with the lawsuit, etc. But now I'm glad that teams are actually waking up, because Flores is a hell of a defensive coach. I think that he's going to be a great head coach this time around. I think that he's learned a lot in the 2 years with the Vikings. If he finds the right spot, wishing him all the best. But also, if he doesn't find the right spot and he wants to run it back with the Vikings one more time, we'll love him, man, because Flo is a true leader, man, and I love Brian Flores. Fantastic, man. Also, you talked about how the window opens next week, so even though requests are in, there won't be any formal interviews until next week for teams in the wild card round, which frankly is pretty good in terms of the preparation for the Rams on Monday night. He's discussed it with the players. It's not the elephant in the room. No topics are off limits, and it just shows just the way that the players talk about Flo. The way that Flores talks about the players, like they have an absolute locked-in relationship. They're fantastic, and that's why they're going to get after the Rams. The players are number one, and if Flores talked about, he feels the support from the players, O'Connell, the organization as well. Obviously, they knew that this was going to be a temporary thing because Flores is a head coach, but we'll see if the stars align. And a place that would make a ton of sense for Flores is returning to New England. That's where he got his coaching start. Also spent a couple of years as a scout, and rose up from position coach, assistant, de facto defensive coordinator, and he learned a lot there. And Gerard Mayo was one and done with the Patriots, and Robert Kraft, owner of the Patriots, said yesterday that he didn't set up Mayo for success, and Mayo wasn't quite ready to be a head coach. I kind of believe that, and following Belichick is going to be tough, but now you get to follow the guy who followed the guy, right? And they haven't requested Flores yet. I think that they will, and I think that it makes a ton of sense. And my nightmare would be Flores takes the Patriots head coaching job and then takes Josh McCown to be his play calling OC, given his connection with Drake May. But we'll see. But yeah, the Patriots haven't formally requested to interview Flores as of yet. I'm sure that they will. Also, Talked about his time here with the Vikings been rewarding last 2 years. Formed bonds quickly, having a good time, but also working hard. Also talked about how there's tons of head coaches and coordinators on the defensive staff, notably Durante Jones, who's gotten very close with Mike Saravo, who he brought in as a linebackers coach. And I think that's if Flores does leave, I think that Saraba or Durante Jones would be candidates to succeed him if they don't go with Flo to the new team. So we'll see. Plus, talked about how it's been a great professional marriage. Well, we keep saying this in the past tense, in that it's almost a fait accompli that Flores leaves, but we'll see. But talked about how it's a great professional marriage with Kevin O'Connell, one of the best in the business in terms of being a leader and in terms of being a head coach. Also, he's learned a lot here in the great state of Minnesota, grown as a coach, grown as a person, and he said that it would have to be the right situation to leave. And we said this before, like, he's not going to take a job just to take a job, even though they're rare. He's going to have opportunities. As long as the Vikings defense keeps rolling, obviously he's going to get a shot and have plenty of opportunities. But as he learned from the Dolphins, ownership matters. So he's not going to take one just to take one. And also, the situation. Maybe it's a GM on thin ice, so that's why I don't think that he takes the Bears job, because apparently they're retaining Poles, except he's going to be on completely thin ice, and also ownership is terrible. The Jets' ownership is terrible. New England makes sense, right? Because Elliott Wolf, the de facto GM, is highly respected, as well as, of course, he knows Robert Kraft, and Robert Kraft and the Patriots know him, so that's why that one makes more sense. But back to the field, you talked about how he smiles when think about working with Harrison Smith, and also love that one of the reasons why Harrison didn't retire last offseason is that he wanted to work with Flores again for another year. And also, Harry thinks that Flores is nutty for pushing the limits, getting creative out there, and all that stuff. Right, so. That's why Flores has been able to implement this type of defense, because the Vikings do have great veterans back there in Harrison Smith and Metellus and Beasley, and of course Stephon Gilmore, etc. Byron Murphy, and then with the Rams, like Stafford, obviously at a certain point it's just blitz. At a certain point, who cares? Like, look what the Lions did to the Vikings offense. Just blitz the living bejesus out of the Rams and Stafford. But Stafford, the wily veteran, gets the ball out quick. He doesn't hang on to the ball for 75,000 seconds. It's like, oh, you're blitzing? Okay, let's just get rid of the ball quick, instead of it just running backwards and then fading towards the sideline and just throwing the ball away. Not that I'm still bitter about Sunday night. Yeah, but Stafford's tough to blitz, because even though obviously Flores and the Vikings defense are very good at disguising, the Rams do, and McVay, they do a lot of things that makes the defense turn their hand over and see what is actually going on. And Stafford, of course, is one of the best in the business. The veteran, wily old veteran, getting it done. And then lastly, he was asked about Kyrie Jackson and how the defense is honoring him this year, and Flores said that it's a horrific tragedy. Really brought the team together, and frankly, one of the reasons why the defense plays the way that it does, because he talked about how we're going to honor Kyrie the way that we play on defense. And Kyrie was tough, he was physical, he was fast, and that's exactly how you describe the Vikings defense. Also, Flores says he doesn't use the term, but the term swaggy also applies, where Kyrie always had a ton of fun playing the game, and you see that resonate with the Vikings, where they seem like a fun bunch to begin with, but I mean they're definitely cranking it up to 11. So hopefully the defense gets a couple more games, specifically 4, to continue to honor Kyrie Jackson. But that's it. Your thoughts are thoughts. Flores presser asked about the Rams, the Lions, as well as head coaching opportunities. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, his thoughts, comment section. You guys know what to do. Skol, production value.